Hello and welcome to Mediumship Matters with me, Hannah McIntyre. And today it's Tuesday, so I've got another great guest for you. I have got Desiree Diaz of Sacred Wise Magic to come and talk to us today. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. I've been stalking your Instagram, going through your website, looking at all the stuff that you do: plant, spirit medicine, womb healing, moon women oracles. You've got a little sprinkling of witchcraft in there. I've seen you with a drum. I've seen you around sound bowls. There's retreats. There's a lot going on, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Good. I love it. So I'm going to pick through your brain about all of these different aspects of you. But just to begin with, can you tell us how you got started?
Yes, absolutely. That's my favorite question. And for me, it started when I was a kid because my mom always used to do any form of tarot or divination in front of me. So
Wow.
she got me used to all those things. She was really open to explaining it to me. And then she basically was like, "What do you want to learn?" And she would buy me all the books. And so my spiritual journey started super, super young. And so it always continued. I always developed and learned more. And so I was a very spiritual child, very spiritual teenager, and now a very spiritual adult.
I love it. And how did that impact your relationships? I mean, because for most of us, we are the spiritual black sheep in a sea of white ones. Like, how did that impact your life at school? Um, what was that like for you?
Yeah, so I was living in Italy when I was younger, and Italy is extremely like they don't look well at anything spiritual. It's kind of like very like, hush hush
Yeah.
done at home. So I wasn't very open about it because, there's a lot about religion and so I couldn't really express the things. And I had some really bad experiences of like even going to bookshops that had spiritual bits and people freaking out. So so yeah, for me, my experience has always been like sort of like having to hide away when I
Mm.
lived there and doing things on my own. And I really craved community and having people around that we can share these experiences. So at one point I really stopped kind of like having to hide and decided this is just who I'm gonna announce myself to the world as who I am because it is what I am. And yeah, and then I started creating community. So yeah, the little me is extremely proud that now she has all these friends that are spiritual. When I was younger, I couldn't have them.
Wow. And do you think that actually is part of your inspiration now? Because you do a lot of community and group work. Do you think that's how you got such a desire for that?
I really think so because it was something that I craved so much. And also, I realized, we can all go through spiritual awakenings at different times. And
Yeah.
if we don't have those people around us that are spiritual, it will feel very isolating. And also, it will feel really much like I'm the only person going through this. Am I going crazy? And I wanted to create a space for people to feel like you're not going crazy. Look, there's all these
Yeah.
other people around you that are also going through the same thing, and we can share tips, we can learn from each other, we can connect deeper. So yeah, that's what the other thing that really got me into doing all
I
the group
love it.
things.
I love it. So you started with the tarot. I've just made a new set of tarot oracle
I
up
love
in one
it.
go. Yeah, there we go.
I love it.
I'm going to quickly go and trademark Oracle.
Do it.
You started with tarot and Oracle, and that connection to the knowing and all of that, and then you've definitely got a real calling, I think, into healing and the
Mm.
healing arts and working with healing. How did your journey with healing start?
Yeah, I think for me it started with like I needed healing myself. All
Yeah.
the things that I do are part of practices that have helped me. I've always been someone that doesn't believe that, just like one thing and that's it. Like only one thing can help you. I've just noticed, okay, the womb healing for me helps me, and the plants for me really help me, and the oracle and the energy healing. So why would I not offer the same things to other that have helped me so much in my journey? And yeah, so it all started with really like discovering different things, especially by being spiritual and being a witch from so young. You know,
Yeah.
you it's not like how someone that might start learning something now when they're an adult. Like I had so many years to discover all these things and to make it, yeah, like something that I became really good at, I
I
guess.
love it. I love it. So let's go straight into plant spirit medicine, because I'm
Yes.
fascinated by this. And I was looking on your website, and that is, it's not what I expected. So it's not
Mm.
necessarily about imbibing the plants, is it? It's not about, it's about connecting to the spirit of them. Is that correct? So
Yeah.
talk to us about it.
Yes. So, plant spirit has been something for me that has completely changed my life. And I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without the journeys that plants have taken me on and what they made me realize that was missing out of my life or really pushing me into certain things, even when I felt like I can't do this. So plant spirits, the way that I connect with them and I connect other people's to it is by drinking an infusion of a specific plant that has decided to come out in ceremony. So nowadays there's a lot of cacao ceremonies or blue lotus ceremonies, and it's kind of like a bit of a trend, I guess. But there's so many other plants that are actually abundant around us that want to connect. There's nettle, there's oats, or plants that grow abundantly that are just craving that connection again. So when we connect with plant spirits, I become sort of like, I guess, like a vessel
Mhm.
for the spirit of the plant to come through and share the journey that it's taking us all, share where it's bringing healing. And as people connect with the plants more deeply, they can feel where the plant is going, where it's bringing healing within the body. They can feel the love that plants have for us, which is so unconditional. And yes, it's a really beautiful and powerful experience.
Do you think that there is a connection to the geographical location of a plant? So do you feel like we should be using the plants that are near us because we are here in the physical, there's a vibrational alignment or blending that's happening with the plants in our area, and then we're shipping in, for example, cacao from miles away? Do you feel that there is everything we need around us?
Yes. So I think, it's so interesting because, for example, I've studied cacao for many years through my shamanic journeys and working with plant medicine. And cacao is always like, I'm good. Like with ceremonies with me, it's like, I'm good. I don't want to come out. And I think it's because it's a plant that is used a lot.
Yeah.
And so instead, the plants that want to come out is the ones that are abundant around us. Lavender, like everyone knows there's lavender all around us. Mugwort, we can go into parks and forage mugwort. And yeah, so these plants that grow abundantly around us want to connect and have so much magic and knowledge that they can share because they've been here for thousands, if not even millions of years, and they just want us to connect, of course, with respect. And
Yes.
so whenever I hold a ceremony, I connect with the spirit of plants and follow which plant wants to come out. I never choose the plant because I think there needs to be a bit of a deeper respect for the spirit of these plants. And yeah, so there's this beautiful ceremony that starts from the respect, from really honoring that plant, which I think in some ceremonies is also missed, that like it's actually about the plant and bringing respect, bringing gratitude back to the plant. And so we have so many amazing healing plants around us. And I really follow the healing tradition of the wise woman tradition of healing, which is all about nourishing your body with all the plants that grow abundant around us. And so it brings so much healing to the body. So, yeah.
I love it. And so I suppose that is a bit like my obsession, which is different but the same, with the intelligence of the spirit world. Like I
Mm.
find it really frustrating when people feel like they need to give spirits instructions, like spirit, like loved ones in spirit, they're like, "Oh, no, if you didn't tell me what to do, I'd just be doing the wrong thing." And I guess that kind of really that really resonates with me about the plants, because it's all about the vibration of the group as well, and that
Yeah.
intelligence of the spirit, that the plant that steps forward, for want of a better expression, will be the one that is the most in alignment for everybody's needs in the group. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I always prepare an infusion before the night before a ceremony, and it's so interesting because there's always going to be a moment in the ceremony why I realize a specific plant came out, because it might be because people coming suffered from like extreme grief, so maybe a plant that is amazing to release grief is coming in, or people have had some issues with really big stresses, so a plant that is extremely relaxing or good for the nervous system comes out. Or if sometimes it's even like, oh, now I remember a memory from my childhood where I met this plant in my garden. And so like there's always a reason why a certain plant comes in, and it's just about like trusting that there's a reason as well.
I love that. I love that. And I bet sometimes you get last minute attendees and then they come and they've got the reason and you're like, there you go.
Yes.
I love that. I love it when stuff like that happens in your running groups. Amazing. So you've got this plant spirit medicine and the healing. And I know that you sell infusions on your website as well. So there's loads of information and videos that people can watch and things like that. Obviously, I'll put a link to your website in the show notes. But you also do womb healing. Can you talk
Mm.
to us about that and what that's for, why we need it, how it works?
Yes. So everyone that has a womb should experience this. And it's been sort of my mission to everyone with a womb that needs to experience it at least once. And then if it's not for you, then it's fine. But so far, everyone that ever experienced it is like, wow, this has been so transformational. And so maybe I'll start with why I started it.
Yeah.
I used to have the worst periods ever, like to the point where I would black out from the pain, and I have a really high pain tolerance. And and then realized that actually it's something that has always been in my family. My mom had really bad periods. My grandma would faint from the pain. So and kind of like the solution was always like, well, you need to go on the pill and that
Yeah.
will sort it. The pill would make me depressed. So at one point in my life, I decided I'm just going to take on the pain. And what happened was I was doing my courses in herbalism and folk herbalism, and we had a guest speaker that was talking about Yoni steaming and womb healing. And Yoni steaming is the use of water, hot water, and herbs that will go up and will bring healing into the body. And at the beginning, I was very much like, no, this is no, no, this is some sort of like Gwyneth Paltrow stuff. Like, I'm never gonna do that. And but the more she was speaking about it and how this is actually something that wherever you go, there is a tradition of this. And she showed a map of how in all the world there's knowledge of this in the past. It started to make more sense. So then I started to study it and get my certification in it. And through that, heal myself with that. So I now experience zero pain and zero issues in my cycle. And so for me, it was like, as this has helped me so much, it can help others. And so the womb healing is a mixture that I do is a mixture of energy healing, of a shamanic journey into the womb to really release what we're holding back. We store, anyone with a womb stores so much there, whether that's energy, emotions, or trauma. And so we're holding on to all these things and not releasing them. And so when we work with the journey with the shamanic healing, with the drum, with the energy healing, and the support with the yoni steaming, with the herbs coming in, it's extremely healing. And yeah, so that was all like the journey of like putting this all together to help people. And it's always so fascinating whenever someone comes is very skeptical, because I change their mind completely, and then they become like a convert and like, yeah, this has helped me so much in my journey. And yeah, so that's why I started it, and it's beautiful to see how much it resonates with someone with a womb, and how much it's healing, and how much healing it brings.
And why do you think it's the womb specifically? This is what I'm always fascinated with this. You know, why are we not holding that energy in our hearts? Why is it? Is it because of the gender and the culture that we're growing up in? Is it something else? Is it carried through women to women? Because obviously the eggs of the child are in the grandmother and all of that. Like, what do you feel? Why there?
Literally a mixture of all the things that you've said. So the fact that it's carried from egg to egg, yes, absolutely. So it's also like that ancestral,
Yeah.
healing that we need to do. It's something that those that have a womb experience more often in their womb. That's just energetically where we hold it. For a lot of people that don't have a womb, it might be more in their heart. And that's where they, even like the stress, if we think, even if we look at in terms of gender, like men, a lot of the stress, for example, they hold it in the heart. And that's why, they also get like a lot of heart attacks and things like that. For people with a womb, it's very much in the womb energetically, because it's also a place that can create life, and there's this energy of like can create light, but it also like can contain. It's a container of creating also all our dreams and desires, and so it transforms energy. But if we don't do something to release what is stuck within it, this space is just filled with any energy and trauma that we are holding on to. Even past partners energetically that we are done with, but energetically there might still be that link and that cord cutting that needs to be done.
Amazing. Fascinating.
Yeah.
And you also, I don't want to say dabble because that sounds patronizing, but you work with witchcraft as well.
Yes.
I call myself a dabbler, but when you say it to someone else, that sounds awful. But you also, and so where did that come in, and how does that manifest through your work?
Yeah. So I would say that I started with witchcraft as a kid because my mom got me used into all that. And although she might not refer herself really that much as a witch, she is a witch. And, she brought me up with like learning about plants and connecting with nature and the whole tarot and divination. And so I was brought up by a witch, and so that was who I also became. And through my journey from childhood to teenage years, it was really developing that. Um, and yeah, so I always start with saying, I'm an energy healer, I'm a witch, and then look around the room and people are like, did she just say that? So I always love that reaction. And yeah, for me, that is part of who I am. So it comes out in everything that I do. And it connects. It's kind of like, I always see it as the web, sort of like that connects all the things that I do together. Because even connecting with plant spirit, it has an infusion of the witchcraft of connecting with nature and the green witch part of energy. And yeah, so it is really connected in everything. It's kind of like the golden thread that just unifies everything that I do. And it's also the thing that, I connect with first when a person comes and is in need of healing, and connect with that energy within me of like, okay, what is my magic telling me this person needs? And then from there, kind of like, okay, maybe we need to go into energy healing or plant spirit or womb healing. And so, yeah, but it's been my whole life. I wouldn't see myself as anything else. Like that is part of
So
how.
more what I would call a hedge witch kind of approach to it, of working with nature and working rather than the sort of stereotypical idea of witches of being in a coven with with all of that kind of. Although I know you have your groups which could be classed as a coven, but you know what I mean when you're doing this sort of. Okay, fascinating. I love it. So, have you ever met anyone that, I don't want to say can't be healed, but has difficulty accepting healing energy, working through healing energy, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, Definitely. There's people that, don't even feel ready or scared about that spiritual journey. So then they just block everything out. And, those, I don't tend to really attract those people in my work in terms of like, everyone that comes to me comes because they're ready to put the work.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people think like, like, oh, just heal me. And it's like, that's not what it is. I am creating a safe container for you to bring back the healing that is already within you. And if there's anything that is keeping that stuck, I help you release it. But the healing is already within you. And, I'm just not coming in and like, boom, you're done. Like it's a journey of reconnecting deeper with yourself. But there's definitely, people that are not ready. They might never be ready in this lifetime and might have to come back in a different lifetime to go on that journey. And I definitely, have met people like that. I mean, one of my exes was like that. That just, I mean, he was living with a full witch, like doing all this energy healing and all these things, and he was always like, no.
Yeah.
Like, you
Free will
literally
and
have
choice.
abundance.
Yeah, free
Yeah,
will and choice.
I know.
Excellent. And so, an interesting thing you just said there, you believe that if we don't heal it in this life, we will reincarnate and have to heal from it in a future life.
I definitely think so. I think the spiritual journey is something that is part of our journey as a soul or whatever we want to describe ourselves as. And if in this lifetime we're not experiencing that, we might decide to come back to experience that because it is such an important part. And I sometimes, like, for that person, for example, I felt very sorry that they could not experience this thing that is so important, that makes us feel so connected and realize that we're not alone. And also it's so comforting that we have this, we can reach out to the plants, we can reach out to energy healing, and we can feel all this connection. So yeah, sometimes people might come back for that journey. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. That's slightly different to my take on it, but I love
Tell me.
I love hearing different people's ideas, and
Mm,
because I don't know. I don't
yeah,
know. We know nothing for fact. So
true.
it's always interesting to think about it, because personally, I believe that souls are always okay. Souls are
Mm,
fine. I don't believe that souls need healing, because I believe to be in spirit in your truth, like you just said, actually, that it's already within you. You are already
yeah.
healed. You're just tapping into it. So I don't know how, but I have been talking to spirit recently, which is why I asked you about the process of reincarnating with health issues from previous lives and things like that, and how that plays a part in the energetic of it. They've been talking to me recently about something about you hold a frequency that your soul knows on earth, and when your soul enters back, it picks up that frequency again, but I'm
Mm.
still trying to integrate it.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
so
yeah,
fascinating.
things that keep you awake at night, and then you go, oh no, I can't quite pull all that information in just yet, which actually it does tie in with what you're saying. It's, oh, I love it.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. So you've got all these groups, you are offering all this healing and this connection. You also do retreats, don't you, where people can
Yes.
come and talk to us about your retreats.
Yeah, so the retreats are something that the plants decided me to do. So when I held my first one a couple of years ago, it was very much like the plants were like, you need to do this. And I was like, no. But the plants were like, no, you need to do this. And and what was fascinating, one plant that I work with that is extremely like, for me, has an energy of like, here's a list of things that you need to do that we're calling in for you. For others, she always comes as this like, yeah, let me give you all the love, and like for me it's like, okay, make down a list of all the things I need to do. And so she came in and was very much like, this is the retreat that you need to do, this is the schedule, these are the plants that want to come out to work with you on this retreat, and this is when you need to do it. And I was like, okay. So I kind of like just trusted that plant spirit was telling me what I needed to do, and I just needed to embrace it and go with it. And yeah, so I've held those retreats a few times, and these specific ones are with wild medicine, so working with all the different plant spirits, and connecting also with making medicine, because this is something that we've forgotten. All our ancestors used to use the wild herbs that they find around, make medicine, and incorporate in their daily life every day. And we've forgotten this. So we get sick all the time. If we have a cold, we don't reach out for some medicine made with plants. We reach out for paracetamol and all these things. Instead, there's a tea that can help you. There's a cough syrup that you can make that can help you. And so in these retreats, we really experience how to make medicine, so that you go home and like, hey, now I know that rosemary is good for this, and I can make my own medicine with this. And so it's a beautiful way to also just connect deeper with nature, and again, bringing gratitude to nature. And the message that plants had for me with this is how we've so disconnected with nature that we've forgotten that we are one and not separate. And that was the whole message for these retreats. And yeah, they've been really, really powerful, each one so amazing. I'm still in touch with everyone that's come into the retreat. And actually we had one in June, and just a couple of weeks ago we met up all again. It was so beautiful. And now I've been hearing the call of some other retreats that are meant to come in.
Oh,
Yeah,
exciting.
some more about witchcraft, some more about the goddess energy and working with the womb. So yeah, I'm kind of listening at like what needs to come in.
Fantastic. I love it. So, what advice would you give somebody who's just starting their healing journey, just opening up to energy, to spirit, and is listening to you now on this podcast and thinks, oh, I want to tap into plant medicine? What was the first step?
Okay, the first step I would say, first of all, connect with nature. Go out and ground, because we're so ungrounded. And so that should be always the first step. Connect with nature, connect with that. And then see what calls to you, because you might be getting messages through meditation, through your dreams, and there might be already a plant that wants to come out. Of course, I do recommend that, if you want to really work with this, to look at someone that works specifically with plants. However, I always start the journey in September with the nourishing herbs, and those are nettle, oat straw, burdock root, and linden. And so you might be feeling the call like, hey, what would I do if I start drinking nettle infusion every single day for like a whole month? How would my body be nourished if I do that? Or even for a week? What would change within me? And see through that if the plants come in, if they have any messages. And then if it's something that, yeah, you feel really called into, then the person that is my teacher has an amazing and beautiful school for it to go further. But yeah, definitely start with just connecting with nature. Nature has all the answers that we might be
Amazing.
seeking.
Of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Fabulous. So, what is something that you wish that everybody knew about your work?
Oh, that it's not scary, that it's all about reconnecting yourself deeper to your own magic, to your own journey. And it's all about a rediscovery of yourself, of embracing who you truly are. And this is what I do. And none of it is scary. None of it is like dark. Everything comes from a place of love and integrity. Integrity is coming through really strong.
Absolutely. I think we need more integrity in the spiritual
Yes,
community for sure.
absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot that's lost its way.
Yeah.
And you also are launching a Oracle Wisdom course in November. So tell us about that.
Yes, so this is something that I have been planning for many months, and all my followers keep being like, when is it happening? And I'm like, I know, I've just been through so many journeys in the past few months that I haven't been able to. But this course that I'm launching is something that will be really transformational. I've been asked many times to like, how do I connect deeper with oracle cards and even tarot? Like, how do I learn a bit to trust my intuition? So this course is literally about learning to connect deeper with your intuition, releasing any blocks and fear from your intuition, and learning how to use cards. And so we journey deeper with connecting with a specific oracle deck that you might be choosing, learning how to read, learning how to trust your intuition before to even reach out on the booklet and be like, okay, but the booklet says this, but what is your intuition telling you? And in all that, we also journey with some plants, so that are very much third eye opening, so that really help us like to go in deeper and really trust what is coming through. And yeah, so it's like a beautiful 6-week journey to really go deeper into all this and experience how it feels like. What if I'm really going to trust my intuition finally? And
Yeah.
how would that feel in all the choices that I make every day?
Yeah, love it. I love it. I love it. Do you have a particular set of oracle cards or tarot cards that you work with more than the others, or are you like me with just shed loads?
I mean, I think by now, because I also get sent decks to review, I probably have like something around 70, 80 decks growing every week. So it's so fascinating because I will have a certain deck that always wants to work, and some that, are like, okay, I'm done for now. And I will tell you when it's my time to come back,
Yeah.
which I always really appreciate because again, they have their own energy and we need to appreciate that. There's one tarot deck that I use the most in readings with other people, which is the Light Seer Tarot. It's very easy and very good to understand. And I think it's also like the images are so beautiful and easy to get for people to like, oh yeah, no, I can see what you're explaining. But then I think there's just so many that, yeah, there's certain ones that I use every week, and then some that are like, I'm good for now. And then there's some that just want to be used for my own personal readings. And that's again something that I need to respect, that they don't want to be used for everyone else. Which is beautiful. And when you learn more about cards and how to connect with them, that's something that you will also understand a bit more.
I love it. I love it. So I know you've got obviously new retreats coming in and you've got your 6-week course starting, but what's next for you? What are you aiming towards?
Yeah, so that's really fascinating that you're saying that. I think something that has been coming in, there's a few things that have been coming in recently. One is also to create an online journey into the womb. And that is something that I think will launch in the coming months. I've just been getting a lot of downloads about it and kind of like writing things down. And the other things that keep circulating is an oracle deck and a book. And so I don't have a clear vision about it yet, but I know it's coming. So I'm just sort of like trusting that when it's ready, everything will come through. And in the meantime, just more connection with people, with community, with my monthly events, and yeah, probably I'm gonna hold like a day winter retreat as well, more towards the end of November, beginning of December as well, just to like get everyone together.
Amazing. That's fantastic. Well, I will pop a link to your website in the show notes so everyone can come and check you out. And it's been really, really lovely to hear your journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been really lovely to connect.